All right, imagine this. It's 6:15 on a Thursday. You just sat down on the couch and your battery's at 5%. And then you hear the 4 most terrifying words in the English language to a dad. Dad, I'm bored. When you're a reactive dad, you do one of 2 things. You either default to the digital babysitter and you hand over a screen of some type, a tablet, a phone, whatever, and then they just watch the screen time. And then along with that comes the fatherly guilt. Or you go ahead and you say, go find something to do then. And this usually results in some type of tantrum or something getting broken or a fight happening between siblings because you just don't have the bandwidth to entertain them. But here's the secret. From a guy who runs a classroom, who's been a member of many coaching staffs, and has 3 kids of his own. Those kids, they don't need some massive production to entertain them. You don't need to be jumping through hoops or doing anything crazy to satisfy them. All they need is you. And they want a challenge too. And so today, I'm going to give you 3 boredom killers that you can use starting today with little thought, little effort, and use the very things that you have in your own home. These are low effort, they're high impact, and they take less than 2 minutes to set up and to execute. If you can use these things, you're going to turn into the hero for the night without having to drain that remaining energy that you do have. So let's go and look at the playbook. The first play is the sock war. This is a great activity to do when your children are high of energy, they're bouncing off the walls, and you just don't have the energy to keep up with them. It takes just 60 seconds to set up, and all you need is about 10 to 12 pairs of clean rolled up socks. All you got to do is divide up the room. If you got a couch that can kind of divide it in half, that's great, but it's not necessary. You could just divide the room in half. You give half the socks to one side, half the socks to the other. And the best way to do this is if you have multiple children, put them all on one side and put you on the other. And the rules are simple. You just start pelting each other with socks. You start throwing them at each other. It's pure high energy chaos. Kids are going to love it. It burns off their pre-bedtime energy. The cleanup takes less than a minute just to put the socks away, and it costs you absolutely nothing to do this. It's super easy, and to your children, throwing a sock at your face is peak entertainment. They're going to absolutely love it. They're going to burn off some energy, and you didn't really have to do all that much. And in the end, you're going to have fun too. Number 2, you can do the sticky note target. This is another very easy thing, not hard to set up at all, takes less than 2 minutes to do, and all it does is require them to have some focus and some skill, and actually it allows you to kind of sit down and relax too. So you just need 5 sticky notes or thereabout. You need a marker or some type of pen, and you just need a softball or a rolled up sock will do just fine as well. So all you need to do is take those 5 sticky notes, and you need to put various numbers on them, 10, 20, 50, 100, whatever, something like that. And then you go to a hallway door or a blank wall or something of that nature, and you just stick them all over various heights on the wall. And then you give them the softball or a rolled up sock or anything that you got that's similar to that. And you mark off maybe 10, 15 feet, and you tell them to just throw at the sticky notes. And if they hit it, they get that number of points. Tell them they get 5 throws, and then they're going to go ahead and have a blast focusing and concentrating on doing that. And if you want to make this really high impact and be like you're, a super dad, then all you have to do is take a turn as well and try to beat them. Of course, you can let them win. You can actually try to beat them. I'm kind of a big advocate on letting them win sometimes, but they also need to learn how to be good sports and lose as well. So you take your turn, you can play a couple of rounds, and the best part is that you can do this sitting on the ground, propped up against the wall. You don't have to really be super active, but the kids, they'll run after that ball, they'll get it, and they'll bring it back to you, and it's a really, really great play. And the third boredom killer I have for you is actually a unique one that comes when something's going on at dinner time where, kids aren't really enjoying their food, they're dragging their feet when it's coming to eating, and then in the end, they're also a little bit bored. And so this is kind of a routine pivot, if you will. So all you need is a blanket or a large towel or something like that. A sheet will be great. And then you just throw that out in the living room, and you decide to have a little mini picnic in the middle of your living room. And then you can pull up something on the TV, like a 10-minute highlight reel of sports or monster trucks or nature documentaries, cute puppies, funny babies. My kids' personal favorite are America Got Talent highlights. Just something that they're really into, and that's going to change the mundane kind of normal Tuesday dinner into something a little bit different. It's kind of an exclusive event, and in the end, this is especially helpful when they're struggling with eating their food, because now they have something kind of going on where they're going to think this is cool and unique. There's something on the TV for them to watch, and what you'll find is that they'll start eating and kind of picking away at their food as it's sitting in front of them. And so really all of these boredom killers are a change in philosophy and rethinking what entertaining our kids actually is. The thing that these three things all have in common is that they require no physical prep. You have all this stuff around the house most likely, and all they really require is you and your presence. Your kids don't need you to be a dad who acts like a cruise ship director and manages every single moment of their life to keep them entertained. They don't need that. All they need is someone to inject a little bit of structure into their routines, and that structure will help combat the boredom. And as a teacher and a coach and as a father of three, I know that the most effective practices that I've ever had on the field, the most effective lessons I've ever had in the classroom, and the most high impact activities I've ever done with my kids are ones that provide structure and provide some type of guidance for them and allows them to act within the rules and the systems. And that is what we're trying to do here. And it doesn't matter if they're 3 years old or if they're 16, this works for all of them. And so the structure is the key. And with that structure, it is going to be the easiest way for you to become the dad that you want to be. It's not about working harder. It's not about finding more time in the day. It's not about finding more energy. It's about building a better playbook, a better system, a better support structure that you can go to. When you're trying to invent a game on the spot, after all that decision fatigue, a long day of work, you're exhausted, you're really just playing defense. And we don't want to be in that position as a dad. You're just reacting. Being a proactive dad means playing offense. If you want to design these micro connections yourself from scratch, that's great. Everybody can do these. They're not hard. Go get them. But if you want to skip the trial and error and find out what your kids like and don't, and what's a hit and what's not, what's hard, then go ahead and hit subscribe and like the video. And we're going to go ahead and build a community of dads that want to actually be there for the kids with the hacks that you need for the memories they'll keep. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.